really important topic today. So what can UK home insurers learn from Nordic IoT innovation? And why does this matter? Well, for those of you who don't know, and probably most of you will, but in case you don't, the UK home insurance market is over 5 billion a year in premiums. Okay. Even more importantly, according to Ernst & Young, the home insurance market in the UK hasn't made a profit for 6 years, which is extraordinary, right? So this is a really important topic that we have here today, with an excellent panel. So thank you for the initial introduction, Sabine. If I could now turn to the panel, actually, and just ask each of you in turn just to briefly introduce yourself, your role, and what your company does, so everybody understands who's in front.
Okay, I'm Rachel Bennett. I'm Business Development Director for Onics. I'm based here in the UK, but we do have our head office in Denmark, hence the Nordic connection. I represent Onics, who do IoT solutions, full end-to-end, in multiple sectors from security, care, energy, and now insurtech in the UK. So looking forward to it.
Great, thank you. Anders?
My name is Anders Sørbo. I work for If P&C, the Nordic insurer. There I am in charge of our partnerships, our value-adding services, and looking into new business opportunities across the Nordics, but I am based in Oslo.
Hildur.
Yes, hi, my name is Hildur. I'm the CEO of a company called Ohma. Ohma provides home safety services to insurers like If, where we are leveraging actually Onics' technology to prevent claims from escape of water, fire and smoke, and burglary. So what we are actually helping the insurers with is to move from being reactive to being proactive in terms of the products that they are providing to their customers.
Fantastic, thank you. And for those of you who don't know If Insurance, many of you may, but they're the biggest insurer in the Nordic region, so a big player. So I have to ask you, Anders, what was the key driver for If in pursuing this innovation? I mean, IoT has been around now for many years, so why now?
First of all, apologize for not talking about AI only today, but I guess we're a bit late to the party with the IoT, but it's not something we just started doing. This has been 3-4 years in the coming. We have, of course, seen these opportunities for quite some time, but it's been a journey of testing, trying, finding the right type of technology, the right type of partners, finding the right value drivers. So to your question, it is actually a multitude of drivers driving this initiative today. I would say it's the obvious risk prevention. It is also retention. It is differentiation, and also ESG, to be clear. It's a big environmental impact, all of these property claims.
Okay, fantastic. And Hildur, could you perhaps share a bit more about your role in this whole collaboration?
Yes, so what we bring to the picture is essentially, the value to the end customer. So we are providing the customer with not IoT, but the feeling of peace of mind, yeah. And we help the customer get control of their home. So bundled with insurance, that is a huge value add, yeah. And something that we've seen the effect of already.
Fantastic, thank you. And Rachel, yeah, how was Onics able to make this happen? You're providing the IoT tech, and how were you able to make this happen?
We are, and we're delighted, obviously, to be supplying this, but we are the hidden ingredient, if you like, or a bit like the Intel inside, if I might use that old analogy for those of you that remember that far back. So we basically simplify the complexity, and it sits behind where the customer is, delivering a full end-to-end suite of solutions, services, tailored to fit what the customer wants. And in this case, what's in your starter package or your offer for the customer?
In this case, it is fire and water prevention, basically, and then we also give all the customers the opportunity to have burglary, because that is, sad to say, what actually drives the interest. So even though statistically you should be worried about the water damage or the fire, you are more worried about the burglar that doesn't arrive.
As the homeowner, but
yeah.
The insurer is more worried about the
the water and the fire, and the water predominantly, actually.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of the biggest losses come from the water.
Yeah, but it's also the least interesting for the customers we found.
Yeah. No, okay. I'm actually going to go back to you, Rachel, actually. So again, for those of you who don't know Onics, they're not a new company, they're not a new startup in insurtech. You've actually been super successful with your technology working in other sectors such as healthcare, security, and energy. With that in mind, I mean, what brought you, if you like, into the insurance sector?
Well, it was a natural progression, really, because we, as you just said, we started with energy, we did security. Care has been very successful. We've got over 4 million devices out in the market. So, we aren't new. You're right, Simon. But insurtech seemed the natural progression. Bringing together insurance, home care, SOS, all of these. So giving the customer something of value and to help protect the home. The customer, as you just said, Anders, he wants to protect the home and the insurer wants to minimize their risk and reduce their losses.
Fantastic. Now let's turn to the benefits, because I guess that's important. So, Anders, from your point of view, I know it's relatively early days still, but what are the tangible benefits of the program to If Insurance, I guess, so far, and what do you see them looking perhaps further ahead?
I think to start with a bit of a story, the initial pilot, it was given to the top 100 executives of If, like a starter pack. And we've had a great stroke of luck that one of our top executives installed it in our cabin. The heating system failed, but then the system, luckily, it gives you a very clear push alert on your mobile phone that tells you the temperature is dropping dramatically in your winter cabin. In Norway, that is potentially a pretty huge problem, both for you as a customer and us as an insurer. But that also kind of gave us that example we needed as well to kind of show everyone that just by having temperature control and the sensors to when the pipes dry, it's gonna affect us in practice pretty early if we get these things out to the customers.
Yeah.
Clearly. But it's been, like I said, a journey of finding the right type of partner that can provide these things. And it's, if you are dealing with kind of the safety of your customers, the threshold is quite high for a partner to come in and deal with that. Because there is no room for error in water and fire, obviously.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, I guess some people might be thinking, the technology, amazing, but obviously there's going to be a cost to this in putting this into homes and so on. So people looking at the cost-benefit analysis, I mean, from your point of view, what do you see? Have you looked at the sort of the time for the ROI and how does that work?
It's obviously not something that will turn a profit quickly, but at the same time, the investment is fairly marginal. We have chosen to do this as a corporate venture, so it's a separate company. We provide the customers by adding this to part of our value proposition to our customers, and the company that Hildur, I have luckily gotten to run this company. She is free to address other insurers, other players outside the Nordics, but also other industries with the offering. That we really needed to make something outside what was out there. We didn't want to partner up with Verisure and the existing. The value prop wasn't right. And we do think that this is a space that is ripe for disruption. And you also see our peers in the Nordics are also doing similar efforts now.
Okay, very good. And Hildur, what are the benefits of Ohma's customers, and actually, how does it actually work in life? I mean, is there an app? How do the customers actually get the data?
Yeah, so the customer buys a packet of sensors and they get that delivered to their home. They can easily, because the technology has advanced so much that they can easily install everything themselves through a wizard on their app.
Okay.
And then they are notified if there is an incident in their home.
Yeah.
And if the incident is serious, it goes to a security center that then follows up with the customer, and even in case of escape of water, offers plumber services. That's included in the service. So
it's all set up in advance. Yeah.
It's all set up in advance, and everything is working seamlessly for the customer, which is obviously something that we've spent quite a lot of time on, testing and piloting to making sure that this is a high quality service. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. And if I was looking at the app earlier, actually, so I have seen the app, and it's great, very easy to use, very good user experience. But the sort of away from the insurance side for a minute, I thought what was great was, I mean, I've just come back from a holiday somewhere sunny. You might guess that, and but you don't want the heating on full blast the whole time you're away. So obviously we turn the heating down. But then you think, well, actually, with this solution, I can land at Heathrow, I can put the heating back on full blast, I can walk through the door and it's warm. So there's all sorts of other little kind of fun side benefits, which would actually be great. Now, Rachel, back to you. Now, the solution can cut insurance losses. We can pick up the risk mitigation. The data can be used, I believe, for better underwriting. Mm-hmm. And it can hugely increase customer stickiness or, if you like, retention. I mean, why? I mean, if it's bringing all these benefits, why don't you think this has been done in the UK before?
I don't think people have been ready, or the technology, particularly for looking for the right fit for the right customer. And I think you need to forget about the technology to a degree and look at the customer proposition. If you go back 10 years, people did early trials, and even further than that, probably 20 years, Wi-Fi didn't connect properly. And the same was to be said for multiple things within the IoT space. And you've probably seen it yourself. You've got an Alexa, or you might have a Google, and then you've got this. We enable you to bring, all of these benefits into one platform, with the AI being the hidden secret behind it. So AI is the power behind the Onics platform. It brings the data. And this morning we were looking at several sessions and sat in on several, conversations about you have to have quality data. It's no point in putting rubbish in because you'll get rubbish out. How can you do any statistics or any underwriting if the figures aren't reliable? So we got these 4 million devices out there. We are the provider of choice for sensors because of the quality and the reliability, and not to mention the Scandinavian look and feel, because they're just all designed in Denmark and Norway. And you can see that, can't you? You really can.
They're nice.
And if you've missed a stand, it's on the way out.
Yes, and the yellow wellies, that's my pointer for our stand, if you would like to go and have a look. So, look for the stand by the bar with the yellow wellies. And, so escape of water being our lead use case.
Very good. Now, just not to make this sort of sound too easy and too fluffy, because this is real innovation. It's not easy. Obviously, challenges and also putting together all the different parties and stuff. So I just have to ask each of you, really, what were the biggest challenges you faced in putting this together, and kind of how did you overcome them? I mean, Anders, maybe I could throw that one at you first, if I may.
Well, it's been many years, as I said, so it's been different challenges at different stages just to be able to initiate this eventually. But now, having come further, looking into scaling and going into several countries, I would say the biggest challenge is actually nailing the value prop and how you communicate this to the customers. Because we do already know that everyone who has it, they love it. And it will be tough for our competitors to move them to new insurers, having this as a part of your insurance now. It's part of the service, it's part of the claims journey. It removes your deductible on your property damages. It really creates glue, but also a sense of us doing more than just helping you when shit happens, so to say, right? And the whole promise of If and our marketing is as we help a lot. Like we go beyond what you expect. And this is a part of that delivery in the future, hopefully. But I do also see that kind of having, luckily, someone with experience such as Hildur is really important if you want to do this. If you're an insurer, don't think you can do this on your own. I do think you need to bring in people who have scaled and done new things to the market. That's almost a prerequisite, I would say, to kind of have that mix. I'm very happy we chose that model, because now I have confidence in Hildur and her team to take it to market, because we know that when we have it in the market, it will give the benefits we need. Now the trick is getting it to the market. So Hildur's fight, I think, every day is to trying to find common ground with our product people, our customer service people, our sales people, to find the right type of messaging, basically. So
Hildur, to turn to you, what did you find with the whole process? The biggest challenges for you in making this work, and how did you overcome them?
So, as with any other tech, it's about the scalability. And with our service, I mean, it is extremely important, as I mentioned earlier, that it works seamlessly. Because otherwise the customer, if there are hiccups in the user experience, you risk losing the customer. So you need to make sure that everything works seamlessly and is operationally scalable, because, scale is of essence here. And that's what we spent quite a bit of time on. And then with this type of service, it's also about the local, regulations and being compliant.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a challenge in itself to make sure that you are 100% compliant with, and the regulations are different from country to country. And now we are covering the Nordics. So, yeah. It's not easy, but it's really fun.
You're making it happen. It's great. No, it's great. And Rachel, how about you? Obviously, I said earlier, you've come from other sectors. You're now in the insurance sector, which some would say is not always the quickest to innovate. Rather than you have to say that. But I mean, what were the challenges, and how have you found it? And
I would say it's about adapting, again, being flexible, because you have to change as you go. You don't, you're not just rigid, it's about making it fit. So what fits if might not fit XYZ insurer. Some people will have a different model, or they'll have different customer portfolio, different demographics. So if you take an elder demographic, then there'll be different things that are important to them than a young family. And I think, again, I mentioned this earlier as well, but it's hiding the complexity. The customer's really not interested about your algorithms and how you crunch this and what they get. They just want it to work. They just want it to be easy to install out of the box, and that there's somebody that can help them, a real person, not just an AI. So when it comes down to the crunch and you've got an emergency, you want a quick response. And you want to be assured that, it's going to be a sustainable solution for many years.
Yep. Yeah, very good. Okay, you made a big statement earlier. Most of this talk has obviously been about the IoT and technology. That you did mention about being the power behind AI. So if we could put that to Anders, I mean, the data that's coming from Onics, how does that help you? Is it not just risk mitigation? Does it help you, or will it help you in other ways, do you think?
I do think it will, but that's of course dependent on the scale and the volumes eventually, and the time span from when we grow. So we see it as an added bonus going forward, and also helping us to, we're going to start with the home houses, and then we're quickly going to move to cabins and apartments, then commercial lines. We see it applicable across a lot of our business. So this is just the first steps of kind of building the confidence to move to the next areas, I would say.
I mean, I can add to that, because it's not only about the preventive effect. It's also about the prediction over time. Once we have gathered enough data, we can actually predict much more risk.
Yeah.
And segment our offering based on the data that we see. So that's the value.
Individualize the price. Individualize the pricing based on the risk profile.
Yeah, and the offering itself, and then we can we might find that a particular customer segment is at very high risk. Might make sense to give this solution to that customer segment, for example.
Okay. Very good, fantastic. Well, we're getting close to wrapping up. I just asked the audience to have a little think. If you've got any questions, we're going to try and leave a minute or two for questions. But before I do that, I just have a final takeaway. And if you could ask each of you, the solution's clearly starting to work well in the Nordics. I know there's different markets, the market here. But I can see it has the potential to work well in the UK. I think particularly because we're all now getting more used to having devices in our homes, whether it's an Alexa or a Ring doorbell or whatever it might be. We're all used to that kind of thing, so I can see how it might work. But what would be the key takeaways for the audience today? Maybe I could ask each of you in turn what that would be. Actually, Rachel, I'm going to turn to you first, if that's all right.
Fine.
Yeah, is that okay?
I would say get started. Don't let someone else be first. We've had a fantastic day today, and also a fantastic couple of shows with ITC last year, and those customers are now, ready, if you like, they're piloting, and they're ready to take it to the next step. So it might be early days. That you might say the industry is slow, but we've seen good traction. But let's just see what happens next. But really good.
Yeah, that's impressive. Very good. Very good. Anders, from you?
I do think, with due respect to the UK, looking at it from the Nordics, we have a sister company in Hastings Direct now, in If. And we know you are dealing with a completely different distribution model. You have different margins. You have different challenges to us in the Nordics, where we have very loyal customers. We have direct sales predominantly, no brokers, no price comparison. So it's completely different. So that said, you would have to address this differently, I think, going to market. But on the same note, I would say the benefits will be potentially quite the same, and maybe more important for the UK providers, since you have tougher margins.
Yeah.
But it's going to be not easy, because this is a service. It's not tech, as Hildur said. It's you need to build a really good service at a reasonable price that gives the customer what they need.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rachel, you were talking earlier about maybe looking initially at certain sectors, so you can see how this might work well, particularly the high net worth sector, whatever, and then start rolling out at scale. I don't know.
Yeah, well, anyone nice. Everyone's got a need, but you need to market it to the right people in the right way. So, find your niche is what I would say to start.
Yeah.
And make it easy, make it fun.
Very good. And Hildur, last thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, it's in a highly competitive market, like, I know the UK is. It's important to use, innovative measures like this to, for other things. Obviously, the long-term effect of a service like this is, risk prevention and fewer claims.
Yeah.
But I think, what we've seen already with If is that it's also giving a sales uplift with when it's bundled with the insurance products.
Yeah.
It will give, more retention. So there's several other effects, because it's quite unique to have physical units, from Onics in the customer's home.
Yeah.
It really gives you a unique stickiness that it's difficult to otherwise have. So yeah, it's a lever for competitive advantage.
So first mover advantage, I guess, for insurers, once your technology is in, they're less likely to move in the business. It becomes definitely more sticky. Huh?
Definitely, yeah.
Which I think probably is a big issue in the UK home insurance market.
Yeah, and we've got all the comparison sites and things that we haven't got here. But yeah, if it's a great system, which we believe it is, I'm a bit biased, I know, but you're not going to want to take it out. And you can let it grow as you age, or your needs change, as your children grow, leave home, or your elderly relatives come to stay, or whatever it might be, and then put it in their homes as well. And you can see it will have a mushroom effect, and you'll get more customers, because everyone will want to get involved.
Fantastic, thank you. So just to turn to George quickly, any questions at all before we wrap up the panel? Any questions from the audience? Or have we just covered every single point perfectly? Any questions, everyone? Okay, well, thank you very much for your interest. I hope you enjoyed the panel. I certainly did. And thank you to our panelists.
Please come by stand 19 and see the wellies in action.
Thank you.